Hey Alex, it's Doug with my Ice Bag Hockey here. And I have to ask you, as a Vegas Knight fan, and you are a very passionate fan about your team, how do you feel this off season has been going for you with the draft and also with the free agency and the trades? I would love to hear your perspective on this. So just give me a, yeah.
Hey Doug, thanks for asking me. This Golden Knights off season, I was really kind of expecting something a little bit bigger and more splashy, which we obviously have a ton of time for things like that to unfold. But, Vegas was kind of in the mix of places that Dylan Larkin could land. And I think at this point, based on what Vegas has done so far, it's not looking likely for him to join the team, which I'm kind of almost relieved about. I think the team was going to have to move a couple of guys that were really valuable in terms of the locker room. Someone that comes to mind is Tomas Hertl, and I think he just adds a ton to the team. And so I'm kind of glad to see him at least still in the place. But as far as the draft goes, I like what Vegas did in terms of going after defensemen. I want to say it was three maybe defensemen, one of which is 6'8". So I think that shows investment in developing defensemen. And I've heard from other hockey folks that that position is one of the hardest to develop and takes the longest time to develop. And so those guys that were drafted in that position aren't likely going to see the ice with the team for quite some time. But I think that shows an investment in developing our blue line, which I think is really needed if we want to continue to be a contender. That's kind of what the Vegas DNA has been built on. And I feel like the team this year, on the defense in the back end, was just not as strong. So I like what we're doing in the draft. As far as free agency, trades, things like that, I am not surprised by the Pavel Dorofeyev trade. That is the big one that everyone is going to be talking about. It's a loss for sure, but he was being fed by guys like Jack Eichel and Mitch Marner, insane stars. And so I'm very curious to see what his production looks like in New York. It could be great still, but is he going to be another kind of Jonathan Marchessault that goes somewhere else and then completely flops, or things like that? I know he had some injuries, but it'll just be interesting to see kind of how he goes off. Wish him well. He got his money. Congrats. But I think the other one that has Vegas fans kind of maybe scratching their heads is Rasmus Anderson. I think there was a ton of hype about him when it was that he was going to come out on as a free agent. And so I like him. I think he is another one that they're looking for leadership in the locker room. The guy they traded him for, Zach Whitecloud, was also a huge locker room guy. And I think Raz adds a ton in that realm. And did he perform at his absolute best in the playoffs? No. But I'm going to trust Vegas management on this one. They haven't really messed up too many of these things. I would argue the only one I'm still kind of disappointed about is the Logan Thompson trade from a few years ago. But I think that, I don't know, I think he'll step up in a big way and in a leadership way, which I think is really important. So I'm excited about the team. I think the makeup is strong. It's going to be year 10, so the team is definitely going to be going for the cup again. And I love that about this team. So that's what I'm thinking.